Hello everyone. So today we are going to talk about the tension members. So what are tension members? Tension members are nothing but these are those members which take only the tensile loads. Okay, that is the force which will be parallel to the longitudinal direction. Suppose for an example, this is a tension member here and these are the two pulls, that is the tensile loads given to this member along its this longitudinal direction. So obviously this, since it is under tension and it is getting pulled by these two loads, obviously this is going to get deformed. So suppose this has got deformed in this way. So these are nothing but when a member gets deformed due to this tensile loads along its longitudinal direction, these are known as your tension members. So now if we talk about the types of tension members, the first and basic type if we say are the wires and cables. Also wires and cables you can see in your daily example when your mom, she tries to dry the clothes which she has washed. What she'll do, she'll hang the clothes on the wires. So obviously when she will place the clothes on the wire, what will happen, your wire is going to get deformed in this way to some extent. Suppose it has got deformed in this way, not much but in this way. So what is happening in the wire? It is getting tension from both the sides, pull is there on both the sides. So this is a basic example of your tension member. So first type is your wires and cables, where we can see some of the examples. Suppose like this is a derrick here in which is used for in constructions to carry loads, very huge structural loads for loading and unloading purpose. So obviously these are under tension, these kind of wires and cables are under tension because it is having a pull here on this side, there is a force, and here also when the heavy load will be placed here and the large heavy loads will be placed here, this will be under tension. So this is a kind of tension member. Another similar example is a hoist, also for loading and unloading purpose. These are also a kind of tension members. Also in suspension bridges you can see these are the cables which are always under tension from both the sides. All the cables are under tension here because this will have a pull on both the sides. Then the next type if we talk are the basic simple rods which we always use in our construction purposes. This can be round or square also. This can be round or square bars, and these are generally used for small tension members. Okay, but this kind of bars have a disadvantage. What happens, since they have an inadequate stiffness is present in this kind of rods, therefore what happens, there will be a sag under its own weight, because you can see in the construction sites very long bars are used. They sometimes sag by their own weight while we are using them. So this is the small disadvantage of these rods. If we talk about the next third type is the single structure shapes and pleats. So single structure shapes, that means what, the sections which different steel sections which we already know are there in our steel structure, which may be, suppose for an example, the angle section, we have the T sections, we have the channel sections, we have the I sections. So these are the sections we already are familiar with, this angle section, T section, channel sections, I sections. So here the angle section and the channel sections are also we know, but here what happens, these flanges, these are the flanges, and these flanges are less rigid. Okay, one more thing, if we are talking about this, all the sections, single sections, angle section, T section, channel section, I sections, all this I must tell you they are very much rigid than the wires or cable and rods which we have discussed, this type 1 and type 2. Okay, and here now when we talk about each single structure member, here on the flanges, on channel section or angle section, anywhere, this flanges will have a low rigidity in the direction of flange, and there is higher rigidity in the web. In this web there is higher rigidity Okay. And also this I member, this I section, the single I section is generally we prefer in most of the connections. Why? Because this kind of I section have more rigidity, and these I sections are more economical than any kind of built up members, because in built up members we need more members to make a built up member. So talking about the next fourth type is the built up members. Here built up members, if we talk about built up members, you can see here in the figure, here already this is the I section, two I sections are used, and here another tension members are used here to form this built up member. This is a built up member. Okay, when do we use this kind of built up members? We use when we can use single I sections also, as I told you just before this, that this single I sections are used in because they are more economical than this built up members. But we use built up members when this single I sections cannot furnish the required area. Okay, then we use this kind of built up members. Now we will talk about the failures in tension members. So what are the different types of failures in tension members? The first type, if we talk, is the gross section yielding. Okay, suppose this is a tension member. Okay, so as I told you earlier, there will be a pull on both the sides, and therefore this bar will get deformed. Here you can see the figure which has got deformed. So this will go on deforming till it can carry the ultimate load. Okay, and also it will, since it is going to get deformed and deformed and deformed until it reaches its ultimate load, what will happen? There will be large deformation, and this deformation will go on increasing. This will go on increasing and increasing until it reaches its ultimate load, and a time will come when this will become, it will yield so much that it will become unserviceable. That means we cannot use any further this structure since it has attained its maximum yielding stress. Okay, and to find out the how, since this is a kind of failure in steel tensile members. Okay, so how we can find out the strength of this gross section? We can find out the strength of this gross section yielding of any plates by going to the IS code clause number 6.2, page number 32. If we go see this thing, page number 32, and this is the clause number 6.2 here, that is the design strength due to yielding of gross section. This is the design strength due to yielding of gross sections. Okay, so we already know these things. AG, what is your AG? Gross area. Fy is the yield stress. Why yield stress? Because we know this is the member will become unserviceable till its yield stress. Okay, it will take the ultimate yield stress. Next, if we talk about the second type of failure, is the net section failure. Tension members will always be connected by to the members will be connected to each other either by balls or by welds. Sorry, this will not be holes, this will be welds. This will be welds. Okay, balls or welds will connect these members or tension members, main members or any other members by either by bolting or welding. Suppose here these two are the plates. Okay, now these two have to be connected. This are the tension members and this have to be connected. So what we'll do, we by bolting. So suppose these are the holes made for the bolting purposes. Now what will happen when they connected, when this two will be connected with ball, tension members have hole, these holes are here, and this will as a result reduce the cross section, because before these holes were made, what happened, the cross section area was more, but as soon as the holes are made for bolting, here this portion got reduced, removed, this portion of the member got reduced, removed, and this also, this, so obviously the net cross section area got reduced. So one important thing is the net area. So what is the net area? Net area is the reduced cross section area due to this bolting. Okay, and here if we see now, when these two are connected and a static load is applied, what will happen? There will be deformation on the tension member, and this deformation will keep on deforming. The member will keep on deforming as the load increases. Okay, increase in the load will increase the deformation. Okay, so it will go on deforming until a time will come when this member will fail under rupture, or tension failure will happen. Okay, so this is called as your net section rupture. Okay, now to find out the strength of this net section rupture, we have to go to clause number 6.3, page number, once again to page number 32. Similarly, here was for gross strength due to gross yielding of gross section, and here the strength due to the rupture of the critical section, which is your TDN is 0.9 AN/FU by gamma mol. See here, if you see here was your Fy for yielding, and here it is your Fu. Why? Because it will fail in its ultimate tensile stress. Okay, so Fe we are using here. And other things we'll discuss when we go on solving the problems. The net area AN is the net area, which I told you that when the bolt holes are removed, there is a reduction, and that is known as your net area, that portion. So if we talk about the third type of failure, there are three types of failure in tension members. The first type we have discussed, the second type also we have discussed. Now this is the third type of failure, which is the block shear failure. Now what is that? Suppose this is a gusset plate here, and here suppose this is a kind of flange or any other member, so these two are connected to each other by bolting. This is a pull here, suppose this is P, these are your P. Now due to this pull, what will happen? Sometimes it happens that the bolts remain here, but due to this pull on this particular member, what happens? This is going to come out as a block. This entire plate is going to come out or fail in this way. This is the after the failure, this will occur in this way. That means as a block it has come. That means due to this pull P, your plate is going to tear in this way. Then comes here this portion, then again this, and then this. Here from center again this, and then this. Okay, so this is known as your block failure, when the failure occurs as a block. Okay, so one more thing, the failure of the member will occur along a path involving tension on one plane and shear on a perpendicular plane along the fastener. So this plane, since this is the pull, so obviously the tension pull will be this, tension plan will be this. If we see, this is your tension plan, and this is your this portion, this plan is your perpendicular to the this thing, perpendicular to this fasteners is your shear plan. Okay, is your shear plan. You can see also this in your clause number 6.4, page number 33, how to find out the strength of the block shear strength. If you have to find out, if you have to calculate that, you see here this thing, page number 33, clause number 6.4, the design strength due to block shear. So here TDB is your, we have to, how we can calculate the block shear strength? By smaller of these two. If we find out the smaller of these two, will give us the block shear strength. Here in figure you can see here what I have talked about. If this is the, okay, one more thing here, if you see this AVG and AVN, ATN, ATG, AVN, what are these? AVG and AVN are the minimum gross and net area in shear along the bolt line parallel to the external forces respectively 1 to 2 or 3 to 4, which you can see here in the figure. 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 is your shear plane. it is mentioned to you here in your IS code 122, 3 to 4 are your this thing net area in shear. Okay, and ATN, what are those? Minimum gross and net area in tension from the ball tool to the toe of the angle. Which is your 2 to 3 as shown in 7.B. 7.B, this 2 to 3 is your tension plan. Okay, so that is your ATN, ATG, ATN. Okay, so this was your block shear strength. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video.